Thank you, Senator Kennedy, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mathis, you have a lovely family. And these children are so well behaved. They're going to deserve a special treat at the end of the day. Mr. Chairman, I do want to say for the record, the White House is being inaccurate in their representation of their outreach, and I think that that is important to note. And you were correct when you said the Trump administration reached out and worked with you on both district and circuit courts. And that advice and consent is vitally important, and the White House is being inaccurate in their representation of their outreach, which did not occur until 4:55 yesterday afternoon. Mr. Mathis, I want to talk with you a little bit about your experience, because I am concerned about how little experience you have as in appellate litigation when you're asking us to confirm you for a federal appellate court. Have you ever argued a case in the Sixth Circuit?
Thank you, Senator Blackburn, for that question. I've argued 10 appeals to the Tennessee Court of Appeals and the Tennessee Court of Criminal Appeals.
But not to the Sixth Circuit.
But I have not argued an appeal to the Sixth Circuit.
Have you ever argued a case in any federal appellate court?
Senator, I have not argued any cases in.
And then we'll talk about briefing, because I want to know about the federal appellate cases where you served as the lead attorney for briefing, and I don't mean just serving as local counsel. On how many cases have you been the lead appellate counsel handling the substantive briefing?
If I'm not mistaken, I handled the substantive briefing as a lead drafter of appeals in 3 appeals, as well as the current appeal that I have before the Sixth Circuit.
By our records and what we have found, your name appeared on briefs in the Sixth Circuit 9 times, 9 cases. And in 8 of those cases, you had to file corrected filings for failure to follow the Sixth Circuit rules. 8 out of 9. So how can we expect to confirm you as a Sixth Circuit judge when you have demonstrated a record of consistently failing to comply with the rules of that very court?
Thank you, Senator Blackburn, for that question. For any court that I'm practicing before, I do my very best to follow the rules.
So those were just mistakes, 8 out of 9 times?
Thank you, Senator Blackburn, for that question. At this juncture, I don't believe I've handled 8 appeals to the Court of Appeals. I've handled 5 to conclusion, as well as 1 that I have pending before the Sixth Circuit.
Well, what we found is in some of the Sixth Circuit cases where you were involved, you handled the state and federal trial work, but an attorney from another firm was brought in to handle the appellate work at the Sixth Circuit. So what that says to me is that your own clients didn't trust you to handle the appeals before the Sixth Circuit. So they brought in somebody else to handle that Sixth Circuit work. Another question for you. Before this hearing was noticed, did anyone ever suggest to you that you should reach out to me or Senator Hagerty for a meeting?
Thank you, Senator Blackburn, for that question. I recall that in June, I was advised to make myself available to you.
And you chose not to do that?
Senator, I did make myself available and interview with your counsel, as well as Senator Hagerty's counsel.
Who counseled you to not make yourself available for a meeting with me?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. I was never counseled to not have a meeting with you. I was happy to meet with your counsel in June.
Okay, I know that you were made aware of my desire to meet with you after you were nominated. Are you telling this committee that no one ever told you that I wanted to have the opportunity to meet with you?
Senator, I was not aware of a request to meet with you, but I would be happy to meet with you.
I know you were made aware, and I know for a fact that you were made aware of my concerns about your lack of experience, and that was well over a month ago. And I think it's of concern that you would have chosen not to reach out and close that loop. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My time's expired.